Today, we are talking about the business of law is rapidly changing, which would absolutely pique my interest.
I'm so tired of micromanaging. How do I train, manage, and lead? I can't find time to be visionary. Head down in the weeds.
All right, guys, I'm really excited to see the click-through rate, the open rate, the listen rate to today's topic. Today, we are talking about the business of law is rapidly changing, which would absolutely pique my interest as a practicing attorney or a law firm owner operator. And I'm so incredibly excited to have attorney Josh Sanford here, practicing attorney in Little Rock, Arkansas, currently at a legal conference for what legal conference are you at right now?
It's called the Motorcycle Accident Summit. It's the first annual. It's put on by NTL and Law Tigers.
I swear, every conversation that you and I have met since we connected on LinkedIn, which, by the way, if you are not on LinkedIn, highly recommend, is a gold mine for
Yeah.
referrals, power partners, what have you. But every single time we've talked, you are on the road. You're a road warrior. You are going to every legal conference out there. How many are you attending this year?
Um, Probably like 18. It feels like every week, but it's really more like once every 3 weeks. But I decided a few years ago that I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to change and grow. I wanted to adapt. And the best way that I know how to do that is to meet new people. And the easiest way to do that is conferences. So I love meeting people. I love finding out how other people are doing things and how people are challenging themselves in their careers.
Yeah. And so do you kind of have an agenda? Do you have an intention? I know you're speaking at some conferences, you're roaming the halls, you're attending for your own knowledge and practice growth, you're breaking bread with people. I would love for, so often attorneys will attend conferences with no real intention or they will only go to better their technical legal knowledge. Talk to us a little bit about that's a huge investment. Time away from your practice, time away from your family, flights, hotels, costs, all that. And
Yeah.
so obviously you must have some kind of framework in the back of your head of what your ROI is.
Yeah, so I went to conferences when I was younger. I've been a lawyer for about 23 years, and I would go to get technical information. I would go to learn case strategies and that sort of things. Those things do develop, and you certainly can learn new tricks and new processes and that sort of thing. I'm all about relationships now. When I go to conferences, I'm there to meet people. I don't spend a lot of time in the sessions. I'm more interested in meeting the people that I consider to be market leaders in the things that they do, because people are looking for partnerships. They're looking for new opportunities, and I'm all about that. Now, one of the reasons that I go to conferences is that I'm the co-founder of a software company that manages referrals between law firms, and I have to do some selling at the conferences. But I also own two law firms, and I also own a social media platform that hosts lawyers on Facebook and YouTube. And I have my own very small little YouTube channel. So I'm just always interested to meet people and see how they're doing what they're doing and what they hope to do differently.
Serial entrepreneur. My goodness.
I guess so, yeah.
I love it. So tell us a little bit about your law firms, what you do, your
Yeah,
practice and lifestyle.
happily. In Little Rock, I have a law firm called the Sanford Law Firm. It's an employment law firm, mostly limited to wage and hour cases. We're largely in federal court. For 3 or 4 years, we filed more wage and hour cases in federal court than any other law firm in the U.S. In fact, I think I have filed more lawsuits for unpaid wages in federal court than any other human that's ever lived. Um, which is not really like me because I'm not really litigious. I like to make deals. That's my favorite thing about practicing law is making deals. I love partnerships. I love coming to agreements with anybody about anything. But the practice of law is litigation at times, and so we have that business there, and we practice in at any given time between 10 and 25 states. Just about a year ago, I formed a law firm that's headquartered in Washington, D.C. And we largely get our cases from YouTube. I partnered with YouTube's largest legal influencer, a lawyer named Devin Stone. Many of your viewers and listeners will be familiar with a channel called Legal Eagle.
Yes.
He has like 3.1 million subscribers, gets lots of views every day. We formed a law firm together to help his audience, who's very faithful to him, to meet their legal needs.
Wow. Yeah. I'm going to put the link in the show notes as well. I really want you all, if you are not following one of the best attorneys on, as soon as you mentioned that to me, I'm like, of course I know him.
Yeah.
Tell us,
Yeah,
let's dive into this conversation about the business of law is rapidly changing. Talk to us about your perspective, what you're seeing. You are obviously on the forefront of traveling across the country. What's your perspective? What are you seeing?
So let me back up and say I'm 49 years old. When I started my law firm in 2001, I bought a several sets of law books. Okay, I had a fax machine. It was an actual machine. To check my email, I unplugged my fax machine. I plugged it into my computer, and I mean, it was a different era. I launched my effort to get cases by taking out Yellow Pages ads. And a lot of your listeners have probably been there.
Yep.
And the Yellow Pages are dead. But attorney advertising and attorney marketing is at any given moment, it feels like whatever we're doing now, this is how it's always been, and this is how it will always be. But that's really not the case. A lot of people know that attorney advertising was not legal until 1977, when the U.S. Supreme Court said that we had a First Amendment right to advertise. TV advertising really didn't start until 1980, when Harlan Schillinger created a way for market leaders in big cities around the US to start getting ads out, and created basically a ruling class of plaintiffs lawyers who are able to spend money and get market share in TV markets. And that probably seemed to them like it would last forever. And like the internet does with everything, it's been total upheaval, right? And now the market is completely fragmented, and you really can go get cases almost any way that you want. I am a champion of quality social media engagement by lawyers so that they are giving value over the social media platforms that their audience likes, and engaging with their potential customers, potential clients on those platforms. I'm not a big fan of people posting things that say like, Happy St. Patrick's Day, or Happy Memorial Day. I think that lawyers should be constantly educating their potential clients about how the law really works, and how the law affects all of us and how we live in our regular daily lives. And certainly that's what the Legal Eagle channel is about. It's an educational channel. And my own channel, I'm on YouTube at America's Attorney. Very small. I'm not like Devin's channel, but I'm just trying to get the information about how the law affects us out to people and provide real value, not anything other than just kind of common sense interaction with a lawyer, because a lot of people don't know a lawyer. They live their lives and they don't have a lawyer who's a friend. And so getting a lawyer's take on what's happening in the world is super valuable to them.
So to clarify, what you're saying is how you see that it's rapidly changing is you need to be visible, you need to be digital, you need to be educate to motivate. And I've heard from a lot of attorneys, well, there's this fine line of giving legal advice or what have you. But what I'm hearing from you is really speak into what you do, how you do what you do, what makes you different. And you really should be speaking into that versus call us.
Yeah, I think that there's probably a lot of lawyers are over-indexed on the fear of giving legal advice when they should be out there educating about how the legal system works or about what the law is in general. It's very easy to provide value to people without mistakenly having them think that you represent them or that you're telling them what they should do in a specific situation. But there are lawyers out there who are providing value to potential clients, and those lawyers are winning those clients. They're getting
Yes.
those cases. And to me, the democratization of marketing that social media has brought to lawyers is ultimately for the client's good. But if a lawyer gets on the wrong end of that and doesn't see that the trend is towards real engagement with the people that you can help, you're going to miss out, and those clients are going to end up with someone else. There are lawyers on TikTok with up to 6.7 million followers. And there are lawyers, there's a guy named Jefferson Fisher on Instagram with a couple million followers. And the value of growing an audience is something that really cannot be overstated, because if you, like, everyone lives in a place where the TV is dominated by one or two or maybe three law firms. If they stop making those ads, their audience will forget them in the blink of an eye. They have to keep paying. But the engagement that organic social media, that valuable social media affords with an audience is something that really transcends the transaction of paying money to a TV station and getting your ads out there. And the lawyers who are leading the way on social media, their audience is not forgetting them when they turn off the screen. They want to come back for those people, and that's very valuable.
Yeah, so how you see it is that you do need to be digital, you do need to be visible, and you do need to be in a video format in a way that they could pick up on your energy, your tonality, what makes you different, and in regards to educate, to motivate. Stories sell, data tell. So for attorneys that are afraid to be given legal advice, talk about past fact patterns. I just had
Yeah.
a client who came in, and the previous, thank goodness they made their way into our office, because the previous attorney they met with missed this, and this. So you're really distinguishing yourself in the marketplace as well.
Yes. And I think what's been a hindrance to a lot of attorneys in terms of social media is that you can't necessarily fence off geographically where you will grow an audience. Now, you can focus your content on the types of ways in which you're able to help an audience, and you should totally do that. Geographically, not so much, right? If your channel is growing organically, whatever platform you're on, it's going to reach people everywhere. But there are now tools out there available to lawyers to connect your audience with like-minded lawyers who will serve your clients and pay a referral fee that is in compliance with the laws in the venues where those cases arise. And I'm happy to talk to any one of your viewers at any time, or your listeners, about the tools that we use in order to share cases. Because, like, on Eagle Team, we keep some of our clients in-house, but the Legal Eagle channel breadth is so wide that we partner with over 170 firms around the US to send cases to them where we can't help. And so anyone can do that. That the tech is out there and it's available to lawyers, and it's really cheap.
It's really cheap, absolutely, but really locking arms with other people's platforms as well. And so
Yeah.
talk to us a little bit about this. You say referral fees, and I could hear some attorneys cringing, like, how does that work? And talk to us about this, again, It's rapidly changing. The old days is we don't do that type of work. I might have two, three people in my Rolodex or what have you, give them a call and that's it. You
Yeah.
know, versus really using what I'm hearing from you of, in addition, two things. One, allows for you to lock arms with platforms such as yours, which I'd like to hear about, and not turning that work away and having it as a revenue stream and having it as a line item on your revenue goals that you have. But number two, giving you permission to niche down. I know a lot of law firms that are, for example, you know, maybe they're doing PI right now. I have a client right now, a couple clients doing PI, and unless you are paying big bucks on PPC, LSAs, what have you, we all know, especially if you're in like South Florida or what have you, where the competition's high, you got to pay to play. And so maybe there's other areas of your practice you no longer want to do, and you're afraid to turn off the spigot, so to speak. And what I'm hearing from you, again, how it's rapidly changing, it's no longer cutting off, you know, your meal train, if you will, but how do I no longer take on this work, but still generate revenue from it?
Yeah. So I think in the past, lawyers have been faced with kind of a a problem with no good solution when someone presents themselves with a case that the lawyer knows good and well they shouldn't handle, right? But they would really like the fee. And so you're tempted to say, well, I'll just work this myself. I want this case and I'm going to do it. And I mean, I did that when I was younger. It's not best for the client. The best thing for the client is for all the lawyers in America to really niche down. Like, get very, very good at something. Have all the lawyers that you know send you that type of case and do a bang up job for those clients. In the past, if you it takes a lot of time and energy to develop a network to both give out and to receive cases. It doesn't have to. The networks now exist online. I mean, you really can share cases without having to do what I'm doing, which is like going to conferences and meeting people. You can plug into a platform. You can be like, let's say you're the DUI lawyer in Colorado. You can start getting DUI referrals from people all over the country, which means that they're no longer tempted to try to do a bad job because that's not their area or whatever. And they're not just refusing the client and not helping them, but they're actually connecting them to the best people. So you can send out more work and receive in more work. And I do think that those sorts of technology-enabled partnership networks, they are the future of the practice of law. And I know it because 3 of them have gone to market in the last 12 months. These networks are out there.
3
Yeah,
networks?
there's one called Attorney Share. There's
Yeah.
one called
Wait, is Attorney Share Bob Simon?
yeah, Bob Simon's thing.
Amazing. Another person to watch on social media. He's doing an extraordinary job.
Overture
Yeah.
is another one, and then the one that we use, which is the first to market, is called Lex Amica. So I'm a big fan of that one, obviously.
Ah, great. So that's how the market's really rapidly changing, because the people, the trailblazers such as yourself on the forefront, going to all these legal conferences, clearly, and I'd love for you to speak into this a little bit, you have the entrepreneurial freedom. You're the visionary. Your law firms are running on their own without you feeling like you're chained to the desk, doing
Yeah.
initial consultation, serving clients, what have you. So you've already grown and scaled and systematized your practice to give you the freedom. So what I hear from you is you're doing a lot of the groundwork of getting connections with all these attorneys, getting them into the, you know, command central, into the hub, into the family, and our listeners can just plug in there because you've already done the vetting process for them.
Yeah, that's right. And you make a good point. the sorts of things that, so I'm obsessed with working on my businesses and not working in my businesses. And I'm sure you're familiar with kind of
Yes.
that framework. But if you don't have good people, you can't do that. And if you don't have systems, you can't do that. And so I'm a big fan of getting good people and getting them in the right spot in the firm and having good systems and having a culture that that honors um, playing by the rules and treating people well internally so that those systems can run even if the boss is at a conference.
Right. So what do you say to our listeners right now that maybe they're struggling with an area that they're still doing pay the rent law, as you say? Because it's one thing of, oh, I would really like the fee for attorneys that have grown and scaled their practice. What I hear from them too is I don't want to I want a place that I can refer them out because I don't want to put them in shady hands.
Yeah.
Because it might be hiring them for other services, right? In their niche services, or they know them from way back when they're a general practitioner or whatever it might be. So part of it is really for the health of the client.
Yeah, I'm just a big proponent of the client's legal need being met by someone who has niched down, someone who is a specialist, whether they can claim to be a specialist. I know there are rules about what
Yes.
attorneys can say and all that sort of thing, but all the lawyers know that there are people who are really good at various areas of the law. And the highest um, fiduciary obligation that I can discharge to my client is to connect them with the best lawyer. And if it's not me, so be it. And a lot of times it isn't me. And I'm very comfortable with that. I want the clients to get a good result. I don't think they forget that. I don't think that they forget that you connected them with someone who helped them. Especially if you're connecting them with someone who themselves perceives themselves as a specialist and only wants to help the client with that one area of law. But I did read a fascinating statistic, which I think is from the American Bar Association, which is that 16% of people who call a lawyer call that lawyer for a referral to another lawyer. So they know that if they saw a billboard or whatever, they know a lawyer from their kids' sports teams or from church or whatever. They know when they call them, they're not expecting that person to help them. Our customers are sophisticated. They want to be with the best lawyer for their need.
So talk to us how this works. So I'm listening to this podcast. I'm intrigued. I'm interested. How does it work to use an attorney referral platform such as yours?
Yeah, so the one that we're on, if you want to receive cases, it's free. You go to the website and you sign up, you get vetted. There's some basic questions that you have to answer that are biographical. You have to have proof of malpractice coverage. You have to have a good certificate of good standing. There's, I think for almost everyone, you have to be referred by another firm who knows you in some capacity. Um, and um, and then you have to agree to good communication and data transparency because the referring partners are on the hook to make sure that you are discharging your services in a qualified and an acceptable manner. And and so people who meet those community standards get in and start receiving cases from lawyers that they don't even know.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So one of the things that I've really enjoyed, I mean, it's really been a blessing to me, which is that I've brought friends into my network to receive cases from Eagle Team, but lots of firms, dozens of firms put cases onto the Lex Amica platform. And now the people that I brought on, because I wanted them to get referrals from me, they get referrals from other firms also, firms that they would have never met. Um, and in fact, I met a lawyer at a conference. She's in Dallas. She has a practice in California also. And we started sending her referrals, but she's on the platform. She gets referrals from lawyers that she would have never met. And it just makes me so happy. I love it.
Yes, absolutely. So how do you recommend that the receptionist or the client intake coordinator how they make this referral? How do law firms get started?
Yeah, so in my mind, everyone uses a matter management system. People use Filevine or Litify or Clio or Smart Advocate, and or they have an intake platform like Lead Docket, or there's a number of them.
Sure.
A lot of those are configurable so that you can just hit the button that says refer out. If you have your instance attached to a referral platform, like that's what our partners do. Literally, if it's not your case type, you hit refer, and then the network takes care of it for you. So, I mean, that has to be hooked up when you're onboarded, but if you are a firm that's sending potential clients out, all of the platforms want to do that for people.
And how much does it cost to be part of the platform?
If you are referring out, the lowest level is $500 a month. If you're a high volume shop, it can be 10 times that, depending on what your needs are.
And
Yeah.
what's the best way for our listeners to find out more?
They should call me. I'd love to talk to people. I have so many emails. I just love to be on the phone. I love to talk to lawyers. You can put my number in the show notes or wherever you like. But if they reach out to Eagle Team, they'll find me, Josh at eagleteam.law. Love to talk to them.
Okay, great. So fill out a contact form there and
Yeah.
then you'll book a call with them.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. So
Yeah.
tell us,
So Molly, where are you going? Like what conferences are on your agenda? Because I know that you do things to grow and improve. Where are you going to be?
yeah. So for me, I am going to a few different conferences. I don't have them all at top of mind, but my favorite ones to go to are really marketing conferences. I love going to Go High Level, Funnel Hacking Live, Traffic and Conversions, and CleoCon is my favorite. Every
Yeah.
single Lottie Gras I'm going to this year. There's a few other ones that Wealth Council. The symposium is always one of my favorites to go to as well.
Yeah, I love that. Very focused on marketing, which is super smart. One of the things that I believe is that because of the expansion in technological resources that are available to lawyers, it is incumbent upon us to view ourselves as having two businesses. One is an origination business, and the other one is a case management or litigation business. If you are good at originating cases, make money doing that. Give them to other lawyers if you can't do it. If you're good at litigating, don't limit yourself to only your cases. Go get referrals from other lawyers. You don't have to let either of those two aspects of the business of law limit the other aspect for you. So if you're great at marketing, do it. Like there are ways that you can monetize that skill that go far beyond your capacity to litigate, and vice versa. If you're great at litigation, connect with other lawyers. Maybe marketing's not your strong suit. Great.
Let
Be
them.
good at the thing that you're good at, but don't let those two facets of your business prevent you from getting really good at one or the other of them.
Yeah, and I would say, and if you suck at marketing, then you need to delegate it out because you have to be visible. You have to, so often I had an attorney tell me yesterday, we don't really need any more leads. We don't need any more clients. I'm like, yeah, but what your results that you're doing today are going to impact your business 2 years from now. You need to, marketing is not just about lead generation.
That's right.
Marketing is about branding. It's about top of mind awareness. It's about the life cycle of a client and a lead that you get to make certain that they think of you. And to your point, whether they have a divorce and you do estate planning, who's the first person they're going to call? You, because they have a relationship with you and they trust you. And they're going to say to you, who do you recommend? And so you have to be visible. If you suck at marketing videos, I hear attorneys all the time. I don't want to, I look like an idiot. My clients aren't on social media. They don't respond to it. Hire someone out. I have many attorneys that are, number one, either on OPP, other people's platforms, and locking arms like you're talking about today, and or having your marketing coordinator or somebody else, or your client service coordinator be the face of the company. The message has to get out there, and you have to be a thought leader, or at least perceived as a thought leader within your community, or else they're going to go somewhere else.
Yep. Be visible, be the face of it. Don't make it about you. Make it about the value that you give to your people. But they want to see you. And I mean, people value authenticity, and people want you to be you in your marketing. That's what I think.
So tell our listeners what's the best way to reach out to you, to follow you, and to see what you're doing on social media as well. Because I always say it's easier to edit than create. Find somebody who you jive with, you like their energy, you like their tonality, you like their message, and model it.
Yeah. So if you want to see some really mediocre lawyer on YouTube, you should subscribe to America's Attorney and hit the bell notification button.
Great.
And if you want to see great stuff, go to Legal Eagle on YouTube, and he's kind of at the top of the game right now. But he won't always be. And you probably have a listener or a viewer who could be one of the best lawyers in the world on either TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Instagram. People need to try it. They need to get out there and see what they can do. But if they want to connect with me, email me at josh@eagleteam.law. I just love to talk to lawyers. I love to talk about the business of law. Love to help people try to become what they can become and to meet their goals. I love growth and I love change. I love it.
Oh my goodness. Well, yes, you do. 18 conferences and counting, and boots on the ground. And thank you for doing all the legwork to build the community and the platform so the attorneys will have a place to plug into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If someone reaches out to me, please tell me that you heard me on Molly's show. That would mean so much to me.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to have all the links in the show notes. No excuses. As I always say, easier to edit than create. Watch some of the trailblazers on video, on social media, digital, and referral team members. When you're tracking your leads, when you make certain, you hear me say this over and over and over and over and over again, track every single phone call that comes in there that you're referring out, or you, even worse, you're saying, sorry, we don't do that, and hanging up the phone. We want to track that so we can
listen to her.
Yes.
Listen to her.
Great. Oh, Josh, thanks for being today's guest. Enjoy the conference.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Safe travels. All right, listeners, until next time, team members, share this podcast with your attorneys. Start tracking every phone call that comes in there, because you will be pleasantly surprised of how many phone calls you are getting that you don't do that type of work, and we can now get a revenue stream from it. We've reached the end of yet another episode of the Hire and Empower with Molly McGrath podcast, where dream teams of entrepreneurs in an entrepreneur's world really do come true. Listen, whether you're a business owner, employee, executive, or hiring manager, we fully understand hiring, onboarding, and leadership is expensive, exhausting, often overwhelming, and absolutely time-consuming for the already taxed professional. Well, we have your back on all fronts. For 25 years and counting, we have transformed over 4,000 law firm teams into the most efficient, resourceful, and profitable asset of your business. Check out our Smart Hire solution, our employee leadership program, and the 66-day law firm turnaround at hiringandempowering.com.